Hi guys. So today is the day. We're gonna go to the pet shop with this girl, whoever that is. But we're gonna get some fishes. This has been a very anticipated video. So this is also my first time making a vlog with her. So that's why we're holding back our laughs. So yeah, I'm just gonna shut up now, and we're gonna go to the pet shop. So the first pet shop we went to, unfortunately, they were closed. I wanted to go there because they had a bunch of new stuff that arrived basing from their Facebook page, but unfortunately, they just closed without any announcement on their page. Or maybe I just didn't see the announcement. But here we are in this. This is the largest pet shop in Bacolod City. So they have a bunch of fishes. So Danios, a lot of options for different colors of Danios. They even have Galaxy Danios, and there's just a bunch. You can see the tanks here. So these are like golden barbs and chili, or red barbs. I don't know. They have the names there. I just couldn't read them right now while I'm voice overing. I think this is like chili. I think these are the chili barbs. And they have a bunch of guppies, a lot of guppies. They have a lot of options for guppies. They have very, very beautiful guppies. I'm actually considering to get some and like set up a pond outside the house with just full of guppies. Yeah, so they also have some rocks, some wood, some tanks, aquariums, and some accessories over there, some fish foods. They have everything here. This is the largest pet store in Bacolod City right now. The only fishes I got here actually were just coolie loaches. So these are the first coolie loaches I've gotten in my whole fish keeping so far. Okay guys, first coolie loaches in the tank. Ooh.
There's like 3. I look so
Hey guys, so we just left that pet shop and we're gonna go to another pet shop. The only fishes I got there were coolie loaches, because I think they're the only pet shop I've seen here in Bacolod that has coolie loaches, and they have a lot of selection of fishes there, which I have also, which is good because I have a lot of options now on what to get. They have Danios, a lot of colors for Danios, even the Galaxy Danios, and Chili Rasboras, Harlequins, and even Phantom Tetras. I was considering to get the Phantom Black Tetras, but they only had 4, and I don't want to keep them in a small number, because the ideal amount is always 6 and above. So they only had 4, so I'm not gonna get those. Probably soon in the future in a different tank, but today we're just gonna go to the other pet shop. So we went to 2 pet shops already. So the first one was closed, and now we're gonna go to the third one. I don't really go here to look for community fishes. Maybe I haven't seen their whole selection, but most of the time they have really big selections, like arowanas, mostly monster fishes, and more exotic fishes. But we're gonna check now if they actually have other options, for especially for community tanks, for nano community tanks like 10 gallons. So we'll see. We're on their way there. And right now Selena, she's not with me now because she has classes still, so just dropped her off at school, and now we're going to the pet shop by ourselves. Let's go. So we're at the third pet shop now. We've arrived, and I stand corrected. They actually have a bunch of community fishes, but just not what I'm looking for. Most of their fishes are compatible for like 50 gallons more, especially these guys. These are like arowanas. There's like monster fishes. They have guppies, they have a few tetras, and I actually got black neon tetras from this shop. That's the only one I got. They have a bunch of other fishes, so it really depends on the stock they have. So I just got 2 black neon tetras, and why? I know you're probably gonna bash me. That's not the minimum amount you should get for schooling fishes, Francis. So the reason why I only got 2 is because I already have 4 at home. So 2 plus 4 is 6. So that's the minimum amount of black neon tetras or schooling fishes you should get if you're trying to keep it minimum or minimal. And why did I get more? Because I'm trying to keep their population into the minimum, because I'm actually gonna add more fishes. So I'm trying to make space or make room for more schooling fishes. So we're gonna go to the next pet shop and I'm gonna show you what I'm getting. So we have arrived at the final and 4th pet shop, and this is actually one of my favorite pet shops. And this is actually the very first pet shop I went to when I started my fish keeping journey. And look at this betas. I really like that white guy or girl. So I really love this pet shop because they have regular stocks of fishes. So every 2 weeks, every month, they always restock. They bring in new fishes, and some of them are pretty rare. You don't really see them in other pet shops. And fun fact, I actually got Sylvie. So Sylvie is my second goldfish. He's the fattest goldfish right now in my goldfish tank. And I think you've met him in previous video. He's the silver, of course, Sylvie as silver. And look at this. They have the electric blue rams. So that's the first time I've seen those actually in a pet shop here in Bacolod City. So I actually considered getting those instead of the pearl powder blue dwarf gourami Bloop. And so, fun fact also, I got Bloop from here. And the reason why I got Bloop, because of course when you get electric blue rams or rams in general, you have to keep them in groups. So I wanted a centerpiece fish, and the dwarf gourami was the perfect option. So here I actually got albino cardinal tetras. They look really nice and they were quite pricey, so I only got 8 pieces of them. So this is the final addition to the 10-gallon tank, the new friends of Bloop. So I just got 8. I'm planning to add more soon, but for now this is it because I'm out of money. Okay, so we went to 4 pet shops today. The first one was closed, and we went to the other 3, and like from each pet shop we got like a fish. So we got loaches, black neon tetras, and then albino cardinal tetras. And now we're gonna go home to start setting up the tank and adding them into the 10-gallon tank. So now we're home and we're gonna start acclimating the fish. But wait, Francis, what do you mean by acclimate? What does acclimate mean? So I'm gonna explain it very briefly, very quickly. So acclimate is when you introduce fishes to your tank. You have to make sure they're not gonna get shocked with the new environment, with the new water parameters and temperature of the water. So you're gonna see me here. I'm gonna put them on top of this tank. I'm just gonna let the plastic bag float with them in it. So that's gonna match the water temperature of the tank to the plastic they're in right now. And that's gonna slowly, match the temperature, so that's not gonna shock them. But if I just take them out of the tank and add them immediately to the 10-gallon tank, they might get in shock and probably and most likely pass away. So I'm placing them on top of the water, and actually in a while I'm gonna open these bags and I'm gonna slowly pour in water to the plastic bags. I'm not gonna put them in the tank yet. I'm just gonna pour in small increments of water from the 10-gallon tank to the plastic bags, and this is to introduce the new water parameters, because the source water has different water parameters. And so if you add them immediately also, that is also going to shock them, even though you've matched the temperature already. And if you just add them immediately, you also have to consider the water parameters, because the source water from the pet shop may have very different water parameters, the fish, and they may have gotten used to that water parameters for so long. So it's important to slowly introduce the new water parameters just so they don't get in shock and die. But now we are just gonna try to catch the 4 new black neon tetras I have already in the 15-gallon tank, because we're gonna be transferring them to the 10-gallon tank. And trust me, this was not easy. Tetras in general are very, very quick fish, and I sped this up, and it took me like 5 minutes. I just got tired, and I had to think of a new technique. I kind of gave up in a bit. It was also pretty hard with all the plants around this tank, and I also have to be careful moving the fish net so I don't hurt the other fishes. So I got this DIY water diffuser I made out of a plastic Tupperware or plastic cup, and I was trying to lure them in to the plastic. And if they get in, I'm just gonna pull out the cup, hoping I catch one. But I was not lucky. I didn't get any of them. Just wasted some of my time trying to catch them with this. So I had to think of another way. So option number 2, method number 2, did not work. It failed miserably. So this took me a while, like quite a while, maybe around 20 minutes, just trying to catch them. And I was getting really, really tired. I had to think of a new way. But actually, I got lucky and I caught one black neon tetra. So the first one I caught kind of just got clumsy and it kind of stopped moving in a corner. I was scared actually. Maybe I got him too stressed, and I just scooped him out with the fish net, and now he's here. But I had to change my methods. So I used this container. It's a clear container because they just walk straight, or they swim, straight through it. And I just trapped them in that. And now I got all 4 of them. Finally, that was like 30 minutes of just trying to catch those black neon tetras. So now I'm gonna show you how I acclimate the fishes by introducing new water. So earlier I talked about how you put in the plastic bags on top of your tank so that they will match the water temperature. And now what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna slowly pour in some water from the tank to the plastic bag. So now I'm slowly introducing the water parameters of the tank so that when I add them in, they're not gonna get shocked. So I'm just gonna scoop some water slowly but surely, and like every time, a few minutes, you're just gonna double the amount of water you're adding the plastic bags so they're gonna get acclimated better. So I'm gonna do this in those other plastic bags. So a good rule of thumb is to keep them acclimated for 30 minutes. And we're going to introduce also the 4 black neon tetras I caught from the 15-gallon tank. But I'm not gonna acclimate him as long as these guys, the new fishes, because I'm using the same tap water for all these tanks at home. So the water parameters are not gonna vary that much, and also the water temperature. So after a while, I now introduce them to the tank, and here they are. They look absolutely wonderful. I really love the albino cardinal tetras. They're just unique. And the black neon tetras, they're like the bolder tetras I have in this tank. So very nice. I really like how I added them here, and I really like how they look, and they're getting comfortable already. You can see them schooling already. That's a good sign. That means they're healthy and they're adjusting well and they're comfortable since they have a group. So hello Bloop, are you happy? So the loaches are actually very nocturnal fishes. So once I added them in the tank, they just swam at the back and tried to find hiding spots, which I actually should add more small caves for them to hide in. So you can't really see them during daytime, or like when the lights are on. They're usually gonna come out when it's dark. But this guy is very bold. He just showed his face He wanted to say hi to his new friends. And you can see he's just gonna wiggle in back to those dark spots at the back. Yeah. So this loach at the back is actually very stressed. He's breathing really heavily and he's not moving that much. He's just trying to hide behind that sponge. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some water, some tank water, and then we're gonna transfer that loach into this cup of water because we're gonna add methylene blue because methylene blue helps relaxing fishes. So we're just gonna try to get him. And look at Bloop. His dwarf grammies are shy fishes. So once I added, this is the first time I've seen him using that cave. That is made for him. So I'm happy to see him in that. He's probably shy with his new friends. He's not used to having this much company. So going back to the loach, I transferred him here already. And then we're just gonna add some methylene blue. So like I said, methylene blue helps with stress. It's gonna relieve stress, especially when you're adding new tank fish. And actually, it's good practice to quarantine your fishes before adding them to the tank. So I apologize, I'm kind of lazy. I just don't want to wait a few weeks before I add those fishes to the tank. But that's a good practice, and I think I should follow that practice. But honestly, I don't have an extra aquarium tank to do that. I don't have a quarantine tank. So here they are. I'm very happy. Bloop is very happy. He's not showing any aggression towards them. He's actually trying to say hello with some of them. And these guys are just schooling around, especially the black neon tetras, which are very hard to fish. So I'm just gonna leave them here for some time. I'm gonna turn on the lights just so they get used to the environment slowly but surely. So I'm just gonna leave them there, help them get comfortable, let them introduce themselves to each other, make friends, and just feel at home. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is like one of the first videos I have like recording outside, at least just in the car. But as an introvert, I'm not a very social person. Just pointing the camera in front of the aquariums in the pet shops, that was something really new to me, and I'm proud I did that, and I'm really happy, and I really enjoyed doing that also. So thank you for watching, and I hope you also learned something from this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.